Hello, fellow beings of Middle-earth, and welcome. Today we have a faction guide which applies to most factions. We're going to see over a few specific points, which I think is very relevant for a lot of factions in this game. And it's basically about how to optimize your results and how to get basically more money out of your faction and making smarter army decisions, so on and so forth. Yeah, we're going to go through a lot, so I think we could just start. So the first tip that I want to give you is that you want to reduce upkeep and use as efficient units as possible. This is something that is very much overlooked for. Like, people instantly think about, yeah, we should build mines to get money, but the most efficient way to actually get money is to reduce your upkeep. Let's take a look, for example, here. So we're going to earn 1,500 for the next turn. And now we're going to see what will happen to, for example, Gondor, which is a faction which is heavily influenced by upkeep. So this general alone generates 300 in upkeep per turn. That's basically a mine per turn. So we're going to put him in a free upkeep. This guy also. That's already 600 coins more per turn. And this is 800. So we're just going to do that most places. And we're just going to see how that is going to influence the income and such. Let's see, this guy, actually we want to move this guy and this guy up here. So what you want to take a look for when about upkeep is that, for example, here you can recruit these kind of units. That means only they will get free upkeep. The archers, for example, we haven't built an archer range just yet. So, or actually we have, yeah, so all of these units will get free upkeep here. So we could have moved these archers up as well. And let's move these guys down here, because they will get free upkeep here. So that's something to watch out for. And yeah, we could move these guys up here. And then these guys over here. I think these, yeah, he won't get free upkeep actually. And that's because we haven't built a meeting hall. So you want to build, like, in the start of your campaigns, you want to build as many of these meeting halls or whatever it is for the specific factions as possible. Here you can just, yeah, walk these guys over to a fort here. Let's move these guys here. It's going to be interesting to see how much more income this will generate in only the first turn. And of course, that will have its impact over more than one turn as well. So in a lot of cities you could just keep them empty in the first 20 turns, because rebel generals won't attack until like 20 turns. But it's smart to recruit a unit here now. It's just that the specific unit we had there would actually get upkeep because we haven't built the meeting hall. So you just want to build meeting halls everywhere. And I think that's basically, yeah, that's basically all the units we can move for this turn. And these guys, of course. So you see, we have already, we're already getting 3,000 florins more per turn. And that's just a huge boost, to be honest. That's like 10 mines. And then you can actually focus your money on much more important uses, like building these governor quarters and meeting halls, so that you can get even more free upkeep. And especially getting free upkeep in situations where you need it, like Karendros, Henethan and Minas Tirith, because Mordor is going to push us from here. So that's something you want to look out for. And we're going to take a look at another point. The next point on the list is to use as efficient units as possible. And here I have a very good example, the wooden horse archers for Wooden Realm. This is one of the units that I have found to be the most cost efficient units in the game perhaps. Let's see how much they cost. They cost 840. And these guys cost around the same. It's just because they can be recruited as mercenaries as well. But these guys are so useful because not only can they use a lot of arrows, of course, like they are horse archers, so they are going to be able to get off a lot of shots before they're thrown into battle. The other thing that the horse archers are very capable of is, of course, doing some charges, which can rout units very easily, and cavalry is the most overpowered unit in this game, so you want to use as much cav as you possibly can. They're very often very cost efficient and provides a lot of different opportunities. Like, not only will they charge and rout units, but they can also capture units, making that you capture fortresses instantly when they sally out and such. So there's a lot of important or notable uses for these guys. And now we're going to see a charge from these guys. In here I have brought the Mirkwood Urk plates, which is, yeah, they're Urk, so they're quite good. We're going to see how well they perform. Let's make a charge into these guys. They're 176 right now. Let's just get a proper angle. Yeah, now we can actually... Let's see here. They have 176. Let's see how much they drop down. Yeah, you see, this is pretty drastically for a horse archer unit. They dropped like about one third of their unit dropped. Like, they will lose, they lost like 4 horsemen, but this is the initial attack, and they will get a lot of more kills if they keep doing these charges. Just see here, they just drop so badly. And the thing is, you'll get a lot more experience very quickly on these kind of units because they perform so well, so they're going to be even more overpowered. And like, now I'm just showing an example on a pretty nice unit, but if you use these guys against trash orc units, you're going to get so many kills. And you're seeing already that their exchange is pretty well. I'm showing this off in my Wooden Realm campaign. If you haven't already watched it, you'll see how overpowered this unit really is. But yeah, there's a lot of other examples of units which is very cost efficient. What you want to look out for is cavalry, javelins and armor piercing units. They will often be very cost efficient. And as well, archers, of course, and pikes. Like, there's a lot of units, but units that are not very cost efficient mostly is spearmen and halberds. In this patch they're just not that good. But of course it really depends on what kind of faction you're meeting. You really want to make armies based on what kind of enemy you're facing. For example, as the Orcs of the Misty Mountains, you don't really want to use spearmen against the dwarves, because the dwarves are swordsmen and they have axes, so your spearmen won't perform very well against them. But if you have armor piercing units, you're going to shred the dwarves, so that's the kind of unit that you really want. But you see now that they're pretty stable at around this number here, and you can really see that they're starting to just perform very well. They aren't losing that many cavalrymen after all of these charges. And in larger battles, when you have a lot of other elves on the battlefield, they can be used very efficiently. So we're just going to see how many kills these guys got. And of course, they didn't even use all their ammo as well. So you just see the potential for efficient units. and that you rather want to recruit these kind of units than these kind of units. You just see the difference right here. But yeah, that was really this point. A bit earlier I talked about like how you can specialize armies for certain factions. I think I'll actually mention the Orcs of the Misty Mountains and the Dwarves, and I'm now going to portray that. I am going firstly to use the heavy goblin infantry against the airborne infantry. Like, they cost basically the same. These guys cost 640, these guys cost 680. But I'm going to show how much of an effect changing these guys for the mountain, I don't remember the name, we're going to see in a second. But we're going to change them up for an armor piercing unit, because these guys are not armor piercing. And these guys have like half their armor, like over half their defense comes from the armor. I'm just going to show you how much more effective another unit with armor piercing is going to be. So we're just going to make everyone fight. There's specific dwarven units, and so far we are losing. Like, it's quite even, but it still looks like we're losing. This unit in particular is doing very bad. Yeah, it's quite even though. But these guys are a late game unit, and these guys are an early game unit. So that should like reflect how bad this unit is in comparison to these guys. And yeah, it's actually quite even. Now we're starting to win actually.
The battle is very much in our favor. Victory will be ours. Our men have fought long and are becoming tired.
We're just going to see how many percent these guys can kill off. That's going to be a difference. Because the other unit is going to do much better. And oh yeah, okay, let's send these guys over here though. Yeah, I think we're going to win the battle actually. Okay, so these guys, they lost 87%. Okay, now let's just quickly see what the other unit will do. Alright, so now using the mountain orc hunters, they should perform much better. Okay, let's just bring them up like this again. So these guys are effective against armor, so they should do quite better, and they don't even have any armor themselves like the other unit did, so that should also be a factor in itself. We should actually take, yeah, it was on the other case though. So far we are winning. It's even here as well, but you see we are quite ahead in comparison to the other units. Yeah, we're like 8% in front. This is going much better. These guys are already... Yeah, okay. You see, like, you already see a difference. Like, we can use these guys to support very quickly. And it's just going to be a major difference, but the units cost exactly the same. So these guys only lost 70%, that's 17% less, and they cost the same. These guys are actually cheaper, to be honest. Yeah, they're cheaper. So that just shows the importance of actually choosing the unit you want to use against the enemy. It's going to be a major difference. So the things that you want to look at for here is what kind of army composition the enemy usually sends at you. Like if it's if they have a lot of armor, you want to use armor piercing units. If they have a lot of archers, it could be wise to either bring a very large army or have a lot of cavalry. Like you want to make a composition for the army you're meeting. The next point I want to cover is taxes, and it's something that really depends on how you want to play the campaign. If you want your end game to be like, if you want to have a lot of money in your end game, you should lower your taxes because it will increase population and it won't really give the benefits from early on, but in the end it will let you have a lot of people and you will gain a lot of money in the end. But if you take very high taxes, that's going to play into the early game. So you might want to take a look at how you are going to play the campaign and adjust the taxes after that. Let's just check. I'm here at the new Gondorian campaign once again. I have not moved the generals. I'm just going to see what the taxes, how that will affect our money. So we now have 1,585 profits per turn. So if I bring it up to levels where we still get a very low population growth, but still a very high tax rate all around the settlements that we can adjust, we're going to see how much our money will go up. Let's just bring it up, yeah, like this. Because this is also a factor that will adjust your gameplay. And if you both do this and get the upkeep done, that's really going to favor you in early game. It's just going to be a huge boost. And that's why you want to build farms and such pretty quickly if you have a lot of settlements. Okay, so yeah, we're already earning 1,000 more by just adjusting the taxes. That's like 3 or 2 mines. So if you do this and did what I did with the upkeep earlier in this video, you could already have raised the money per turn by 4,000 for Gondor. Just imagine that's basically like 8 units of Gondor militia per turn. That's quite significant change. So you want to adjust the taxes considering your playstyle. That's just another tip that could really help you out, to be honest. So another thing that I want to show you is that you could actually like swap these kind of I don't remember the name actually, but you can swap these kind of attributes between generals. So for example, say that we Hurin is, yeah, we don't want to use him in this campaign much. We just want him to sit inside a city. This overseer actually gives 3% bonus on tax income and 3% discount on construction costs and 1+ obedience. If we give that to Hurin, he will actually obtain this, and he's going to be much better to have inside a settlement because he will earn a lot more of money. Let's see if we have anything else that we would want to swap. Discount on unit training costs. Yeah, that's also another trait that we want him to have because that's going to be useful when you sit inside the city. But on another perspective, 25% extra movement points is going to be useful to have in the field, so I rather want to give that to Boromir. So you see, you could just like swap these kind of retinues between different generals, and yeah, and just make customized generals in some sort. This, yeah. Forlong also have another one, but you can't actually swap all of these kind of attributes, but it will work with a lot of attributes, and like it can be useful in certain campaigns if you have lots of generals with lots of attributes and you don't want to use generals. So that's just, yeah, another small tip. But I think that's actually all the tips for this video. I might have missed a lot of stuff, but like this is the first things that I think about when I start a new campaign. Especially the free upkeep is just so important. But again, it really matters. If you use Isengard, free upkeep is not going to be your kind of what you focus on. Like, you're much more going to just recruit a lot and have a lot of army costs, but you're going to expand very quickly, and you could possibly take out Rohan in 15 turns if you're efficient. Probably less than that as well. So I think these tips are very useful for a lot of you guys, because there's just points that you don't really think about when you play this game. Like especially maintaining a good economy is something that a lot of people struggle with, I know. So just ask me questions in the comment section. I'll try to answer as good as I can. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you guys for watching.